sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind. And then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put my fire out. You can turn it all around. You can lift me off the ground, so we can fly again, so we can fly again. Been trying hard not to go out of my mind. And all I need right now is for you to stay the night. But if you keep saying that you've got to leave, then I'm gonna be alright. As long as you tell me that we ain't running out of time. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put my fire out. You can turn it all around. And you can lift me off the ground, so we can fly again, so we can fly again. Sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind. And then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put my fire out. You can turn it all around. You can lift me off the ground, so we can fly again, so we can fly again. Been trying hard not to go out of my mind. And all I need right now is for you to stay the night. But if you keep saying that you've got to leave, then I'm gonna be alright. As long as you tell me that we ain't running out of time. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind. And then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put the fire out. You can turn it all around. You can lift me off the ground, so we can fly again, so we can fly again. Been trying hard not to go out of my mind. And all I need right now is for you to stay the night. But if you keep saying that you've got to leave, then I'm gonna be alright. As long as you tell me that we ain't running out of time. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put the fire out. You can turn it all around. And you can lift me off the ground, so we can fly again, so we can fly again. Sometimes and I can't seem to find a light between the walls I built for myself right in my mind. And then you came over and you showed me love that I never had seen before. And now when I got you, it's all gonna be alright. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you can put the fire out. You can turn it all around. You can lift me off the ground, so we can fly again, so we can fly again. Trying hard not to go out of my mind. And all I need right now is for you to stay the night. But if you keep saying that you've got to leave, then I'm gonna be alright. As long as you tell me that we ain't running out of time. Thinking about all the things we did tonight. What a time to be alive. Just you and I, just you and I. Only you
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for the second round of the Clio Cup here at Motive Racing, here for the 80th season in these Clios on Project Cars 2 on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 platforms. Thank you for joining us here live on the stream. If you're watching on Facebook, be sure to check out the YouTube stream. Got the directions there in the top corner of the actual stream itself. But I think we're in for a treat tonight here, as we have got 16 cars out on the track, so it's going to be a hectic but hopefully a very clean race out there here at Snetterton. We're on a 200 circuit for tonight, the slightly shorter version of Snetterton, so let's hope that everybody's clean into turn one and that these drivers can all keep it together. As here we go, we are engine revs rise, we're about to go racing here at Snetterton for round 2 of the Clio Cup. It's lights out and away we go. Good start from Beambasher from pole position, immediately tucks towards the inside line to defend from Diabetic Lamb, and Falguest got a very good bite there, already getting the jump there on Diabetic Lamb, but Falguest unable to capitalise there. The Mutts Nuts running in 4th, Kurt 5th, there's Swiss Tony, AK unleaded there in 7th with RDJ, Dudovin in 9th place, the Dizzler 10th, and Smoky Devil Guitar Rich, DJ Phil, there's I'm George in 14th place, just losing a position there to Grandad T, who goes up a position, and Pantheon at the back of the field at the moment. But Diabetic Lamb is currently side by side with Beambasher here, really trying to take the fight to him in the early stages. Look at Diabetic Lamb go. He's going to try and go around the outside here as they come down this long back straight which leads up towards the chicane. But Beambasher's still side by side with him, and now Falguest has got the run on both of them here. He's going to look to the inside and make it 3 wide here, coming up towards the chicane. Under the Snetterton Bridge they come. Is Falguest going to back out of this? No, he's not. He's still on the outside, but Diabetic Lamb has to back out and loses the position there to Falguest. Falguest up into P2, and it's now looking to go around the outside of Beambasher here. What a start from Falguest at the start of this race. The Mutts Nuts running in 4th. These 4 have managed to gap Kurt, Swiss Tony and AK Unleaded a little bit now. RDJ running in 8th place. There's the Dizzler, as we just see the AK Unleaded there in that number 29 going very wide, almost going to get onto the grass there. Could have very easily ended up in tears for him as we're coming around the final corner now, and it's Falguest trying to hold off Diabetic Lamb as Beambasher's trying to get away from this pack here in the lead of the race. The Mutts Nuts there running in 4th place. He's going side by side, or trying to go side by side with these two, Falguest and Diabetic Lamb, but those two are kind of just leaving him a little bit down this straight. As the Mutts Nuts is now getting a bit of a toe. Is he going to try and make this move here on Diabetic Lamb into turn 1? He is. The Mutts Nuts goes late on the brakes there, so there's a bit of door banging between the two of them, but the Mutts Nuts has managed to complete that move there on Diabetic Lamb as he runs him out wide. They're still banging doors here coming up towards turn 2. In the end, Diabetic Lamb backs out of that one, thinks better of trading with him there, but he's going to get him in the exit by the looks of it, as the Mutts Nuts got a slightly compromised run out of the corner. But then again, they're still going at it here as there's a bit of a rub in between the two of them. Once again, they managed to get away with it, but they are pushing each other to the limits of these two, Diabetic Lamb and the Mutts Nuts, as the Mutts Nuts has now got the run coming up towards the chicane. Kurt there just behind, he's got AK Unleaded all over the back of him here. Swiss Tony running just ahead of RDJ, as RDJ is trying to get onto the back of these guys here in this mid-pack battle. Bit of a gap back to the Dizzler, Smoky Devil, Guitar Rich, DJ Phil, Granad Steve making progress through the field after starting by the back of the field. As we see there, oh, there's a bit of an incident there as the Monster Energy livery car goes flying into the barriers. Is that Guitar Rich there in the ball? I think it might be. It was Guitar Rich involved. Smoky Devil also caught up in that, as well as Dulevin, and Pantheon's there running at the back. But bit of a disaster there for those guys. But Beambasher leads this race at the end of lap 2. He's got just under 0.3 of a second over Falguest at the moment. Falguest is hunting him down. These two running in the same liveries. They're clearly teammates, clearly teaming up here in this Clio Cup, and right now they're showing the way. Bit of a gap back to the Mutts Nuts, who's managed to put himself a bit of a cushion here to Diabetic Lamb. AK Unleaded trying to go around the outside here of Kurt into turn 1, and he's done that beautifully there as AK Unleaded. What a move there. Managed to really stick it on Kurt, and he's up into 5th place. Kurt can't come back at him coming into turn 2. RDJ's managed to get ahead of Swiss Tony up into 7th place. The Dizzler there running in 9th place. He's got a bit of a gap back to DJ Phil. Granadstein now hunting DJ Phil down in that battle for P10, as I'm George is running in 12th. He's got Guitar Rich and Dudovin fighting it out here coming up towards turn 2. Dudovin in the end thinks better of going up the inside there, and Guitar Rich holds on for that one for the time being. Smoky Devil and Pantheon's at the back at the moment. But Beambasher looking like he has control of this race at the moment. Falguest is hunting him down, trying to keep him on his toes, trying to take the fight to him if he can. But for the time being, Beambasher has got an answer to Falguest in every single department out there on the circuit. But this could go either way at the moment. What a great opening lap we've seen here. Action throughout the field, lots of cars out on the track, and for the time being, Beambasher is clinging on to P1 here. Half a second separating these two, coming out of the final corner, about to complete lap 3 of the race. These guys have managed to pull out a bit of a gap there to the Mutts Nuts, who's now got Diabetic Lamb looking back to his outside here. Can Diabetic Lamb try and get it around the Mutts Nuts here? He's going to get the run here coming up towards turn 1, as now the Mutts Nuts is going to just try and squeeze Diabetic Lamb to the edge of the track. But is Diabetic Lamb going to be able to take it around the outside here? He's still going to put it there. That's a brave move there. Oh no, he's tapped the grass a little bit, and that's going to catapult him into the wall there. He loses out to AK Unleaded and a Kurt, as Kurt and AK Unleaded are side by side into the corner. And RDJ, we just saw there going into the barriers a little bit. Has he got damage on the car? Hopefully it's not too bad. Diabetic Lamb's going to pick up that position up into P6 again. Kurt and AK Unleaded still scrapping it out now for 4th and 5th with Diabetic Lamb's little mistake there. They move up a position each, but Kurt's got back ahead of AK Unleaded here. So these two trading positions in a great little fight here. But Diabetic Lamb's going to be wanting to close up onto the back of him as quickly as he can. RDJ is in the slipstream here of Diabetic Lamb as they're coming up towards the chicane. He's going to look to the inside here, coming under the Snetterton bridge. Is he going to go for a late move up the inside? He thinks better of that one. He's not quite close enough. And Diabetic Lamb weathers that storm for now. Beambasher still leads 4/10 is his gap to Falguest. The Mutts Nuts running in 3rd place, 4 seconds off for these two. Looks like Beambasher and Falguest leaving them in this race a little bit. Kurt running in 4th with AK is still over the back of him. We've got Diabetic Lamb and RDJ not too far off these guys. Bit of a gap back to the Dizzler now, who seems to be in a world of his own there in 8th place. Swiss Tony's got DJ Phil closing up onto the back of him a little bit. Grandad Steve's got ahead of Guitar Rich up into 11th place. I'm George having a bit of a moment there as Doolittl's trying to get around him here in the battle for 13th place. Smoky Devil still running in P15 with Pantheons at the back at the moment. But that was very, very close to tears there for I'm George. He did well to hold on to that one. But out of the final corner, he's got Doolittle looking all over the back of him here, coming down the start-finish straight. He's going to have that slipstream, but I don't think he's going to be quite in the range to go for it, as I'm George is weaving around a little bit, though, and trying to break that toe if he can. Here comes Doolittle, looking to the inside, coming up towards turn 1. Is the corner going to come just in time for George? Let's have a look as they come onto the brakes now. No, he's going to go for it. Doolittle's going to commit himself down the inside, and he's pulled that off brilliantly up into P13. Nicely done there from Doolittle as I'm George gets on a look at the curb a little bit on the exit of the corner. The battle for the lead still rages on, 0.3 of a second. Still the gap between Beambasher and Falguest. Beambasher really claps the sausage curb there, coming through the chicane, but he holds on by the skin of his teeth. Falguest is waiting in the wings. If he sees another mistake like that from Beambasher, you can bet he will be on it like a car bonnet. But for the time being, he clings onto that lead. The Mutts Nuts still running in P3 with Diabetic Lamb, dropping off him a little bit now. He's got AK Unleaded and Kurt all over him here, so Diabetic Lamb's got to watch out as these guys are now hunting him down and putting the pressure on here on lap 5 of this race. Dropping off obviously 2 races tonight, sprint race and a slightly longer race. I wouldn't really call it a feature race, it's 2 sprint races essentially, but this one's a 15-minute race with no mandatory pit stop. The second one will be a 25-minute race with a mandatory pit stop, so it will bring an extra element into it, a bit of strategy involved, you know, bit of unpredictability about the action, which is what we want to see. We want to throw a spanner in the works for the drivers who are used to driving off into the distance, Beambasher and Falguest. But 0.2 of a second between these two right now here, as we're half distance here in the sprint race, and currently Falguest has got a nice run here coming down this back straight, but still Beambasher holding on. He's still got that cushion, I'd say cushion. He's holding it at about 0.3 of a second for most of the lap, so whilst it's not a major advantage, he seems to have it under control. That's what I'm trying to say at this point. But Beambasher is really coming under the cosh from Falguest, as Falguest is looking to the outside here. He's got a better run there coming out of the chicane. He might be able to put alongside him here as they come up through the final few corners of the lap. Maybe he'll be looking to try and put Beambasher under pressure and force him into a mistake coming through the bomb hole. This is one of the hardest corners in British motorsport, but they're coming in towards their final corner now. If Falguest can get a good run out of here, then he might have a chance of taking the lead, as Beambasher a little bit wide over the curb. Falguest has got that run, he's got the toe, he's in that slipstream here, but is he going to be able to use that to his advantage? Is he going to be able to claw down that 0.2 of a second gap and be able to get ahead of him before turn 1? I think Beambasher's got just enough of an advantage right now. He's just about got the legs to hold on from Falguest, as Falguest is continuing to build up him here. Again, can't really get the run out of turn 1 to sort of put himself in range to go for a send it, and still waits in the wings for the time being. Mutts Nuts there running in 3rd place. Diabetic Lamb all over him. Mutts Nuts has got ahead of Diabetic Lamb obviously in the early stages. These two have got AK Unleaded not too far off the back of them, and Kurtz looks like he's made a mistake. He must have dropped off. I don't know whether he's got damage or has had an incident with either of those two, but he's dropped well off at the back, so he's now probably out of that battle for the podium spots. Real shame there for Kurt, as he was driving a good race before that. RDJ in P7. Swiss Tony's got the Dizzler and DJ Phil very close behind him here. Well, in fact, Grandestee's on the back of this train as well. This could become a 4-car battle for 8th place here, with Swiss Tony the Dizzler, Grandestee and Guitar Rich not separated by very much at all. 2/10 is the gap at the front between Beam Basher and Falgas. They're still going at it here on lap 7 of 11. They're coming in towards the final corner here. Is Falgas going to get the run that he hasn't so far eluded him in this race? Oh, Beam Basher bounces over the curb there. But Falgas didn't really get a good run, which kind of just let Beam Basher out of jail a little bit there. Coming over the line to complete the 7th lap of the race. 4 laps to go here in the 15-minute sprint race here at Motive Racing for the Clio Cup, round 2 of the season at Snetterton. In towards turn 1 they come, still as you were between these two. They're still giving absolutely 100% out there at the moment. They're going to leave nothing out on the track, but Falgas not quite in send it mode yet. That will come in the last couple of laps, I'm sure, but for the time being he's happy to sit and wait for Beam Basher to make a mistake. AK Unleaded drops off the back of the Mutts Nuts and Diabetic Lamb a little bit. Don't know if he's made a mistake or run wide or something, but oh, look at this Diabetic Lamb down the inside of the Mutts Nuts. He's managed to make that stick, has he? Oh no, Mutts Nuts is not happy about that. He's trying to come back at him there as we're really rubbing doors there, coming through turns 3 and 4. Diabetic Lamb on the outside has the legs, but the Mutts Nuts is there and looks like he's going to try and use the side draft to get ahead of him here. They're side by side. The Mutts Nuts has got his nose in front here, coming in towards the chicane. Is he going to be able to hold on as they get towards the corner? Under the Snetterton Bridge they come. The Mutts Nuts has got the position back off the Diabetic Lamb there. What a great battle between those two as he runs a little bit wide there. Does the Mutts Nuts onto the grass, and now we're going to see Diabetic Lamb poking his nose up the inside here. But the Mutts Nuts does hold on for that one, for 3rd place for now. AK Unleaded still running in 5th place. There is Kurt just behind him in 6th. Well, he's now 5 seconds off the back of him, but this has allowed AK Unleaded to close up onto these guys now that they've been battling. Oh, Diabetic Lamb hits the sausage curb and the Mutts Nuts spins off, and AK Unleaded is going to come through to pick up the pieces here, and he's going to move up into a podium spot on his Motive Racing debut. What a drive here from AK Unleaded so far. He's now up into 3rd place due to Diabetic Lamb and the Mutts Nuts messing about, tripping over each other. The Diabetic Lamb tripped over the sausage curb, the Mutts Nuts went wide onto the grass, and AK Unleaded is the benefactor there in that little exchange between those guys. Diabetic Lamb is still on the back of AK Unleaded right now. The Mutts Nuts has dropped off him a little bit after that. But this is incredible action here as Beam Basher's still just ahead of Falgas right now. 0.3 of a second separating them coming under the Snetterton Bridge. Falgas though still trying to do anything that he can to maybe put Beam Basher off a little bit or force him into a mistake, but Beam Basher has just been keeping absolutely concrete out at the front. He's just not put a foot wrong over the course of this race. Falgas is probably going to be wondering what he's got to do to get a way around him at the moment. Now he's going to get to these last couple of laps. I'm sure that Falgas is going to start considering throwing caution to the wind. Beam Basher very wide out of the final corner. This is Falgas' opportunity here. He pulls out that slipstream, didn't get caught out behind him there, and now Falgas is going to take the lead here at Snetterton. Beam Basher has led the whole way up to this point, but Falgas is now your race leader here on lap 10 of 11. Neither of these guys with time penalties, so this is a straight fight for the win here. Falgas leads the race. Beam Basher's got it all to do here. So unfortunate for Beam Basher, having led since the start, but he's really got to put his finger out now, that is for sure. Diabetic Lamb running just ahead of AK Unleaded there. He made the move on him on the last lap by the looks of it, and it's got himself back into that final podium spot. Oh, he gets a little bit over the curb though. AK Unleaded up the inside. They bang doors a little bit, but AK Unleaded is back up into 3rd place there. In towards turn 2 they come. Flash the lights there from AK Unleaded, even he lets Diabetic Lamb back through. And this has brought the Mutts Nuts back into this contention for this podium spot here as they're coming down the back straight here for the penultimate time. Lap and a half to go. Falgas still leads ahead of Beam Basher, having made that move at the beginning of this lap, and now Beam Basher's picked himself up a time penalty as well. So he's not only got to get ahead of Falgas, but he's also got to put out a gap to him as well. Maybe he's throwing away the race in there as Beam Basher. I don't know, we'll have to see, but just over a lap left to go. Falgas set the fastest lap of the race on the previous lap, a 1:18.4. He's really on it right now as these two are coming up on some traffic here. Smoky Devil and Pantheons, hopefully they don't get involved in the lead battle here. But 0.3 of a second between these two as they're about to start their final lap of the race. Beam Basher pulling out that slipstream, trying to distract Falgas in the mirrors if he can, but Falgas having none of it for the time being, is holding on to that lead by just a little bit here in the closing lap of this race. Oh, as we see that's Diabetic Lamb there. Sorry, not Diabetic Lamb. AK Unleaded running wide there out of the final corner. Diabetic Lamb's going to look to the outside as the Mutts Nuts is now up into 3rd place and looks like he's cleared these two a little bit here, coming out towards turn 1. AK Unleaded holding on the inside there ahead of Diabetic Lamb and clings onto that 4th place by the skin of his teeth there. But this is absolutely so close between these drivers at the moment. AK Unleaded loses out to Diabetic Lamb and goes around the outside of the first corner, and Diabetic Lamb back up onto the rear end of the Mutts Nuts here. AK Unleaded does have a penalty. The Mutts Nuts and Diabetic Lamb do not, so that will definitely play to their advantage here as they're battling out over that third spot here. Falgas still leading, coming through the final couple of corners. Beambasher's throwing everything at him now. He's just got to throw the kitchen sink at him and hope that Falgas makes a mistake, but I don't think he's going to. As Falgas now has just got this right hander and a left to go. Into the bomb hole he comes for the final time here in the sprint race. What a drive it's been for Falgas. He sat on the back of Beambasher lap after lap, kept putting the pressure on him, and then when Beambasher made that small mistake coming out of this corner a couple of laps ago, Falgas did not need a second invitation. He's going to come home to take the first race of the night here. Well done to Falgas as he takes the checkered flag here at Snetterton. What a drive, what a battle between those two. Beambasher takes second place and picks up a time penalty on that last lap there. Diabetic Lamb is going to battle it out to the flag. Oh no, the Mutts Nuts takes him out there. Mutts Nuts takes him out, spears him, and Diabetic Lamb is off. He's off onto the grass. He gets it going again. Is Kurt going to get him here at the end of this race? As AK Unleaded picks up P3 ahead of the Mutts Nuts, but Mutts Nuts gets it on the penalties. Diabetic Lamb's going to lose out to Kurt here. Oh, that's gutting there for Diabetic Lamb. He drops down to P6 there at the end of that race. Kurt takes P5, Diabetic Lamb P6. I wonder if that's going to be a steward's inquiry there for Diabetic Lamb on the Mutts Nuts. That looks a little bit suspect there. Disler comes home to take 7th place, Granad Stee 8th, Swiss Tony finishes in 9th place there with RDJ 10th, Guitar Rich comes over to take 11th place, DJ Phil 12th, Dulevin gets the 12th place due to the penalties for DJ Phil. I'm George, looks like he's binned it coming through the final part of the lap. Smoky Devil is going to come round to complete the classification, managed to stay on the lead lap ahead of Falgas and Beambasher. Pantheons finished the race a lap down. Thank you for joining us tonight, mate. We got Smoky Devil, he's gone a bit wide there coming out of the final corner, but he'll finish the race very shortly. But what a battle between Falgas and Beambasher. Beambasher took the lead at the start. He had the lead, he obviously started on pole, but Falgas taking the plaudits here in the sprint race for the first race of the night. Drop a like on the video, guys. Show your appreciation for what has been an absolutely brilliant action out on track, and it's not over yet. We've got the feature race coming up after this, and mandatory pit a little bit longer as well. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a few moments' time for that one. What a race, guys, what a race. That was a brilliant watch. I was struggling to keep up with that. There was so much going on. Right, second race. Second race is a bit longer, boys, so it's going to be 18 laps mandatory pit for the feature. Mate, if you want to put in a steward, you can. It looked a little bit sketchy, that last corner, mate. That last corner looked a little bit sketchy. If you want to put in a steward, mate, we'll sort it out. No worries. Yes, mate. No worries, I can stick it on a 10-minute for him instead of a 5 if you want. Yeah, I'll stick it on a 10.
He's lying on me.
Alright. I'm feeling nice anyway, so I'll give him the 10 minutes he needs or whatever, whatnot.
Much better race than that for one day needs cars.
Oh mate, that was brilliant. That was so much fun to watch.
10 minutes as well.
Yeah, we can do.
Viva Robin Andy. Robin me, that's all. He's coming back on now, so just wait 2 seconds.
That's alright mate, I've got it on a 10-minute quali, so we can jump in and then we'll be good to go.
Alright.
Before this starts, I do want to ask if anybody saw me like lagging at all.
I didn't see you, mate. You was behind me all day. Sorry.
Sorry, mate. You had a lag there when you were talking. What was that?
I had to check your Discord.
No,
I was wondering if anybody saw me lagging. Just because
you're lagging, mate. I can't hear you. Can't hear you, mate. You're lagging.
I'm not falling for it again.
Swiss Tony.
No, I only asked because, obviously being far away from the rest of you guys, I just want to make sure I wasn't causing problems for any of you.
Trust me, you want to be as far away as possible from these guys.
I'm as close as I can be for being in
Here we are then, ladies and gentlemen, coming towards the closing stages of the feature race qualifying. Going to be a 25-minute race with a mandatory pit stop coming up after this, but Valgues, the winner in the sprint race, picking up where he left off, currently on provisional pole position on 1 minute 18.2, almost half a second clear of Diabetic Lamb, who sat in second. Beam Basher, last race's pole sitter, and also the almost the race winner, will be lining up in P3 on the second row with Granadstein provisionally on the second row alongside him, but Granadstein will be looking to try and improve on this final run of his. 7/10 adrift at the moment, as we just see there AK Unleaded moving up into third place there on that leaderboard. Granadstein out there in fifth. There's Kurt currently sat in sixth. He's coming in towards the final corner as he will hopefully for him get a draft off of DJ Phil here. DJ Phil clouting that sausage curb coming out of the last corner. What's Kurt going to be able to put on the board here as he comes up towards the line? He's definitely going to be picking up a bit of extra speed here as he comes up towards the line now. He crosses over and stays in P6 for now. Swiss Tony and RDJ both in the pits at this point. Guitar Rich is out there just coming into the bomb hole. Let's see what Guitar Rich can put on the board here. He's just got this right and left to go on this lap. As I said, he's currently 9th in the session, 2.3 seconds off of the fastest time being set by Valgues. Big lock up there as he clouts the sausage curb coming through the final corner. That will have knocked a little bit of lap time off of him. Let's have a look at the map. So we got some sector times coming up on the screen. Now he's coming into the pits, he's boxing, so that's him done for this session. Got the Mutts Nuts out there at the moment, currently in P10. We know he can go quicker than that. He's 2/10 up in the first sector. Donovan coming out of the final corner. Let's see what he can put on the board here. He's getting out of that, getting onto the throttle here, out onto the start finish straight. That's Donovan up towards the line. What is this going to be for him on this latest lap of his? Currently 11th place. Does he move up the order? No, he doesn't. What about AK Unleaded? Nope, he stays in third, so he can't move up the order. Kurt's just coming through the final part of this lap at the moment. You got Mutts Nuts just a little bit behind him on the track, I think. So Kurt's just got DJ Phil up ahead of him, I believe. He will hope not to get held up here as he's coming up off the final corner. Looked like he was up on his personal best there, but he's bringing it into the pits, so it's not going to be an improvement for Kurt. What about the Mutts Nuts? Can this man get himself up the sharp end here? He's in P10 in this qualifying session, not anywhere near where I know he can get up to, where his potential is, up towards the line. What is this going to be for the Mutts Nuts? It's a P9, so he can't move up the order too much. Number 32 is parked right outside my pit garage, my commentary box, as you can see. Whoever number 32 is, you're cheeky. But anyway, that's Valgues there taking pole position by half a second ahead of Diabetic Lamb. AK Unleaded in third, Beam Basher fourth, Granadstein in fifth place with Kurt alongside him on the third row. Swiss Tony and RDJ, the Mutts Nuts, Guitar Rich completing the top 10. Then Donovan the Dizzler, Smokey Devil, DJ Phil, I'm George, and Pantheons at the back of the field for this one. No mate, just stop and go. You can even do the pit stop cheat. If you want to do a pit stop cheat, you can. Anytime mate, anytime. Hit anytime. But it's to your advantage to long it out, because then you can do the pit stop glitch. If you know how to do that. It gets you about 2 or 3 seconds in the pits if you know how to do that. But otherwise, you can hit anytime. go then, ladies and gentlemen. We're just syncing up and ready to roll for the second race of the evening here for the Clio Cup Automotive Racing round 2 of the season. This is race 3. The first round we only have 1 race, but here we go. It's lights out and away we go. Falgas gets a little bit bogged down off the line, but does manage to hold on for P1 in the first couple of metres ahead of Diabetic Lamb. You've got Beambasher already looking to the inside of AK unleaded there up towards turn 1, but I think he's been jumped actually there. Vanity much better start, much better qualifying this time around in P5. You've got Swiss Tony, RDJ around the outside there, just around the outside of the Mustnuts. Mustnuts is going to have Kurt up his inside there, and Kurt's going to make the move, and oh no, bit of a collision there. Looks as though both of them are going to drop down to the foot of the field there, so really unfortunate for Kurt. He just got caught up there a little bit in the Mustnuts, having a bit of a moment. Mustnuts down to the back. Falgas leads ahead of Diabetic Lamb right now. Beambasher in third, Grandesty running in fourth, just ahead of AK Unleaded, as AK Unleaded is now looking to try and unload here, coming down this back straight. See what I did there? Here we go, up towards the chicane. He's managed to get himself into 4th place. Swiss Tony now looking to make the move on Grandesty, can't get it done. Grandesty holds on for P5 there, as we see somebody going straight on there over the chicane. That there was OK Unleaded there, just cutting the inside as Swiss Tony's now looking to his outside. RDJ running just behind these guys, bit of a gap back to Guitar Rich. Doolevin, there's the Dizzler, Smoky Devil running 11th place, and so we see DJ fall all over the grass there. Oh no, and I'm George is off the track, and also Kurt in the walls again. Oh no, Kurt seems to be getting caught up in everybody else's accidents in this race so far. That is really unfortunate there. It doesn't seem that he's got too much damage, but he's got caught out there massively. He's now 12 seconds off for the lead. Falgas leads coming into turn 1 ahead of Diabetic Lamb. Beambasher and Grandesty competing in the top 4. These 4 breaking away a little bit. Swiss Tony's down the inside of AK Unleaded, but AK Unleaded is back up the inside there into turn 1. RDJ on the back of Swiss Tony right now, coming up towards turn 2. RDJ looking to the outside. Can Swiss Tony hold on the inside line coming into turn 2? They're onto the brakes. Bit of a lock up there from RDJ, as we see a big lock up there from AK Unleaded, but it's as you were between those at the moment, as we got Guitar Rich, Doolevin, there's Smoky Devil completing that top 10 at the moment. Bit of a gap back to the Dizzler running in 11th place, and in fact not really much of a gap actually. He's the one right on the back of Smoky Devil here. Right, a bit of a gap back to these guys, DJ Phil and the Mustnuts. Mustnuts after that turbulent first lap down in 13th place. You've got Pantheons running in 14th. Kurt after getting caught up in everybody else. Saxon's down in 15th place, and I'm George completing the classification at the moment. But Falgas out the front has got 0.3 of a second to Diabetic Lamb, and Beambasher stalking these guys as Grandesty has dropped off of these 3 a little bit now. He's now dropped behind AK Unleaded, and has got Guitar Rich and Swiss Tony hot on his heels here as we're coming through the final part of the lap. Let's jump on board with the Dizzler here. He's going to have front row seats for what's going on just up ahead of him. As you can see there, Smoky Devil just in front of the Dizzler in towards the final corner. Dizzler gets a little bit onto the grass there, and you saw there Doolevin getting all over the place. He got onto the brakes, was very lucky to hold on to that as he locked up there. Smokey's just in front of the Dizzler. Let's run on board with Smokey. You can see you've got front row seats of Doolevin trying to get around Swiss Tony. The Dizzler's into the pits at the end of lap 2 there, so, and also I believe the Mustnuts is coming in as well, so those 2 both in at the end of the first lap. But Smokey on the back of this quartet here, battling over 6th place. Guitar Rich, Swiss Tony, Doolevin and Smoky Devil separated by 1.5 seconds at the moment. The battle at the front still raging on. We're on board with Diabetic Lamb, currently sat in 3rd place at the moment, 0.6 of a second off for the leader. Beambasher though looking to the inside here of Falgas. These 2 had a great duel in the first race, and they're at it once again up towards the chicane. Here we go. Falgas is going to have to give him space on the inside as Beambasher's down the inside into the chicane. Is he going to get that move completed? He goes a little bit deep into the first part of the corner, but gets it stopped and manages to avoid the sausage cat. Oh, he gets a big slide on there. Falgas is going to be back up the inside here, coming into the final sector of the lap, and they're side by side here as they come through this right-hander. But Falgas is now going to manage to just claw that lead back off of Beambasher as Diabetic Lamb's watching this all unfold in front of him. Brilliant racing here from these boys. So clean, so quick, such skilled driving of these Clios. It's not easy to drive these cars, especially with considering their front wheel drive. They're the most tricky of cars to drive on this Project Cars 2 game, but these 3 showing an absolute masterclass of how to drive these cars. As you see Diabetic Lamb all over the grass there, but Falgas has this lead back off of Beambasher, and Beambasher's losing out to Diabetic Lamb there. AK Unleaded running in 4th place, got about 1 second back to Grandesty, who's keeping him on his toes there. Guitar Rich has got Swiss Tony looking to his outside here, coming up towards turn 1. Swiss Tony's going to try and get it around the long way here into turn 1. Doolevin and Smoky Devil queuing up behind these 2, but Swiss Tony's going to try and go all the way around the outside there. What a move from Swiss Tony, managing to stick it on Guitar Rich. Doolevin now queuing up behind us. He's trying to make the move here on Guitar Rich as well. Into turn 2 they come. Guitar Rich is going to hold that inside line for the time being, as now Smokey's around the outside of Doolevin. So Doolevin losing out there. He went from attack to defence, and in the end couldn't defend it from Smoky Devil. Smokey up into 8th place. RDJ dropping off the back of these guys now. He's down in P10. There's Kurt still making progress in this race. He's got ahead ahead of DJ Phil and Pantheons, up into 11th place in this one. I'm George, the Dizzler and the Must Nuts have both been into the pits to make their stops here in this race, so we'll see where they come out once all is said and done. But at the moment, Falguest has the lead of the race, the man who qualified on pole position for this feature race, running just ahead of Bean Basher and Diabetic Lamb at the moment. Grandad Steve running in 4th, still keeping AK under just about at bay behind him there. Swiss Tony still ahead of Guitar Rich and Smoky Devil. Doolittle sticking to the back of these cars. At the moment, this quartet battling over 6th place, continuing to give it everything. Bit of a gap back to RDJ at this point, seems to have dropped off the pace a little bit over these last couple of laps, but he's only about 13 seconds off of the lead, so he's still there or thereabouts at this point. But here's the battle for the lead at the moment. Falguest got a 1/10 of a second back to Bean Basher as Bean Basher's all over him coming into turn 1, but couldn't quite be close enough to give him too much of a headache coming into the corner. Up towards turn 2 they come. Is Bean Basher going to look to try and make a move up the inside? No, doesn't quite have it there to make that happen. Diabetic Lamb still just sat on the back of this trio at the moment. They are putting on a great show out the front here in this Clio Cup here at Motive Racing on Project Cars 2 on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 platforms. What a job these drivers are doing tonight as DJ Phil is into the pits to make his pit stop at the end of lap 4. But here we go, Diabetic Lamb pushing the Bean Basher. Interesting that actually. He's not trying to make the move on him, he's trying to push him. Maybe it's just because they were so close to the braking zone at that point that there wasn't much point in really trying to look to the inside. It would have been a catastrophic incident for them if he had maybe, but yeah, for the time being, Diabetic Lamb choosing to hold position. Grandad Steve running in 4th just ahead of AK Unloaded. It looks like he's put a bit of a cushion between himself and AK over this lap. Swiss Tony's gapped Smoky Devil. Guitar Rich has been passed by Smoky Devil, so Smoky continuing to make gains in this race. Guitar Rich now has got RDJ closing on a little bit now, as RDJ was in the 1:20s on that last lap, so he's closing in on this. Apologies for that, my controller just dropped on the floor there, but as we just see there in the foreground, Smoky Devil getting a big slide on coming through the last corner, holds on from Guitar Rich. AK Unlimited into the pits to make his pit stop here at the end of lap 5. Falguest, Bean Basher, Diabetic Lamb continue on. Grandad Steve now into some clean air in 4th place, but I'll tell you what, that was close there from Smoky Devil. He managed to hold on to it and he's still on the back of Swiss Tony right now. Guitar Rich clinging to the back of these guys just about, as RDJ hasn't really made the gains that he was on the previous lap, but he's still quicker than all 3 of these drivers on the last time around, so RDJ could be bringing himself into that fight for 5th place here in this race. Falguest leads Bean Basher. Bean Basher looking to the inside in towards the chicane, thinks better of that one under the Snetterton bridge. Diabetic Lamb still waiting in the wings, hoping to pounce if these two trip over each other. But these two showing no signs of crashing. We saw them battle it out for the entirety of the sprint race earlier on, and so far in the feature they are holding it very, very solid in this race. As we got Smoky Devil running just behind Swiss Tony. Swiss Tony goes wide there onto the grass a little bit. Smoky's looking to the outside, but Swiss Tony gets it parked beautifully in the middle of the track on the apex of that corner and just managing to keep him at bay for now. Guitar Rich is looking to the outside of Smoky Devil. That may become the inside for the final corner if he can keep his car there, but I think he's going to have to just tuck in there. The Smoky's just kind of covered the corner off a little bit. RDJ must have made a mistake on this last lap because he's now dropped to 5 seconds back off of these drivers here, but as they're coming over the line to complete the 6th lap of the race. And Swiss Tony still running in 5th place just ahead of Smoky. Smoky's looking to the inside though, coming into turn 1. He's going to get this done. He's going to make the move. He's going to go late on the brakes there, and Smoky is going to just about be fended off as Swiss Tony takes the line around the outside and has better speed as a result of it. And Swiss Tony holding on for P5 for the time being. Kurt in the box at the moment, pitting from P13 in this race. Bean Basher still leading ahead of Falguest and Diabetic Lamb at the moment. 0.6 of a second separating these top 3 for the time being. 6 seconds back to Grandad Steve, who's starting to reel him in a little bit now. Now that he hasn't got pressure from AK Unlimited on the back of him, he's starting to make gains on the top 3. So this could get tasty as Smoky Devil's to the outside of Swiss Tony here, coming up towards the chicane. Onto the brakes they come. Is he going to be able to hold it around the outside? No, Swiss Tony for the time being covers that one off. Gives gap Guitar Rich a little bit. Smoky clouts the sausage curb, and Guitar Rich might fancy his chances of getting back at Smoky here, but Smoky drops off of the back of Swiss Tony by quite a lot due to really giving that sausage curb some heavy hits there. As RDJ running in 8th place, he's got Doodavin on the back of him here. These guys battling out over 8th place. AK Unlimited still running in P10. Pantheons in 11th. There's I'm George just battling out here with Pantheons, and in fact no, sorry, I'm George battling out with the Mutts Nuts actually, and Mutts Nuts getting around the outside of I'm George up into no, in fact I'm George holding on there head up the Mutts Nuts. Great little battle from these two, and I'm George is fending him off brilliantly here. No, I'm sorry, I do apologise. That's the Dizzler and the Mutts Nuts. These, I tell you what, these abbreviations are killing me right now. I am so sorry. The Mutts Nuts, they're getting ahead of the Dizzler up into 12. I thought that was I'm George. Oh my goodness, what is going on today, Andy? But still, AK Unleaded, having pitted, is running in 10th place. He's the highest runner of those who have pitted already in this race, so there is a mandatory pit stop for this one. AK Unleaded has already been into the pits, as has the Mutts Nuts, and as has Kurt, DJ Phil, and Pantheons. Everybody else. Oh, and the Dizzler, I think... I don't know. I'm not sure. I know the Mutts Nuts definitely has. I know that Kurt definitely has. DJ Phil and Pantheons also have. But Beam Basher now in the lead of the race. He's going to head a Falguest into P1, and these three, Beam Basher, Falguest and Diabetic Lamb, still going at it here as they're on lap 9 of 18. Diabetic Lamb looking pretty close to the back of Falguest, but Beam Basher, having led most of the sprint race and having the lead wrestled from his grasp a couple of laps from home, will be looking to try and settle the score here on Falguest and take a P1 and return to form here. One of his favourite tracks, Snetterton, always a track that he goes well at, but he's gone a bit deep there coming through turn 2, and Falguest is going to look to the outside, but Beam Basher's going to have that preferred line on the inside, and he's going to hold on for now. But Beam Basher here is looking like he's quite vulnerable, as Falguest is going to breeze around him here down to getting that better exit from the previous corner. Still side by side, but now Diabetic Lamb's trying to get involved in this one as well. Beam Basher trying to use that side draft to get the speed against Falguest. Up towards the chicane they come. Falguest around the outside is going to have the corner and gets himself back up into P1 there. I'm George in the pits from P13, but Falguest there retaking the lead. Beam Basher's now got Diabetic Lamb really hot on his heels here, as we're almost half distance here for this feature race. Swiss Tony still running in 5th place. He's got Smoky Devil just behind him. Guitar Rich in the background there in 7th spot. RDJ's running in 8th. He's got Doolevin pretty close behind him right now as they're coming under the Snetterton Bridge up towards the chicane. But he goes a little bit deep there, to be honest, RDJ, and Doolevin might fancy his chances here as they're coming into the final sector of the lap. In the end, RDJ covers that line off and holds on for now. Falguest though looking to go down the inside of Beam Basher into turn 1. Beam Basher covers that line off. The outside line is probably actually seems to be the quickest way around the first corner. I tend to find that if you're going side by side into the braking zone into turn 1, you want to be on the outside. The inside doesn't really do you any favours due to the nature of the corner. It's a very fast right-hander. You do have to hit the brakes quite hard, but it's quite tight. But definitely favours being on the outside for sure. Swiss Tony's into the pits to make his pit stop, so he's got that done and out of the way now. Beam Basher, Falguest and Diabetic Lamb though separated by half a second here on lap 10 of the race. Falguest has got the closing speed coming into the chicane. He's going to throw one to that from the inside. No, he has a little look, feints to the inside, and that is still Beam Basher in the middle. Oh, Beam Basher gets sideways, and that's giving Falguest the lead of the race. Oh no, Beam Basher having a mare in that little moment there, and he's dropped down to 3rd place. Diabetic Lamb up into 2nd. Beam Basher now almost 2 seconds off for the lead there. He's really lost out enormously. He's got it all to do here in this race. Falguest now leads. The winner of the sprint race, it looks like he may be on course for making it 2 from 2, but it's still no doors yet. Still got 8 laps to go, but he's in that P1. He's now got a gap of only over a second here to Diabetic Lamb, so he's in control of this one as Diabetic Lamb throws a feint to go into the pits, but in the end stays out, trying to maybe force Beam Basher's hand into bringing it in here at the end of lap 10. But lap 11 of 18 here for Motive Racing's Clio Cup, race 3 of the season, round 2 here at Snetterton. And this has been absolutely brilliant action so far. Smoky Devil running just ahead of Guitar Rich. They've gapped RDJ by quite a bit. He's now 4 seconds back. He's gapped Doolevin though. He's 2 seconds ahead of Doolevin at this point. Guitar Rich is into the pits here at the end of lap 10, and that will promote RDJ obviously up into 6th place. Doolevin will come through. AK Unleaded, the man who came into the pits very early in this race, still the highest runner of those who've been into the pits. Swiss Tony's 3 seconds behind him. He's battling out with the Mutts Nuts here as they're side by side here down the start finish straight. The Mutts Nuts trying to get this move done on Swiss Tony if he can, as they're coming up towards the first corner. Is the Mutts Nuts going to have the legs around the favoured line here coming to the first corner? He breezes around the outside up into 9th place, and we've seen that many times. The outside line seems to be the best way around the first corner, and Swiss Tony powerless to defend, can't come back at him into turn 2. Falguest running half a second ahead of Diabetic Lamb right now. He goes very deep into the final corner but manages to get it turned in. It looked like he was taking a wide entry just to get that extra speed coming into the corner, and all 3 of them coming into the pits on the same lap. That is interesting here, as all three of them elect to come in at the same time. Granda C running in third place. Is he going to come in at the same time as the leaders? No, he's not. Granda C's going to long it out and maybe try and go all the way to the end here. But it looks like Falgas, Diabetic Lamb, and Beambasher all managed to get the pit stop cheat and are in and out in a matter of probably about a second. Granda C is your new race leader. These three obviously have made their pit stops, so they are the net top three. But Falgas holding position there, staying ahead of Diabetic Lamb and Beambasher. And it's as you were in exactly the same order between these three as they come out of the pits. Smoky Devil coming up towards turn 1. RDJ and Dudovin both coming into the pits to make their pit stops here at the end of lap 11. The Mutts Nuts there running in the background there in 8th place. He's got Swiss Tony hassling in the back of him, but the Mutts Nuts obviously we saw made the move this time a lap ago up into what is now 6th place in this race. As the Dizzler there running a couple of seconds behind those two in 8th. There's AK Unleaded, who's made that pit stop early in the race, and now we can really see the representative gaps here. So he's 20 seconds behind the net leaders at the moment, Falgas, Diabetic Lamb and Beambasher. Smokey's still got a pit. The Mutts Nuts has been in, so the Mutts Nuts 20 seconds off for the back of the net leaders as well, as Swiss Tony's looking to try and make the move down the inside here. The Mutts Nuts side by side up towards this chicane down the end of the back straight. What's going to happen here? Looks like Swiss Tony's got that one done relatively routinely there up into the position. The battle's still raging on between the net three leaders at the moment, Falgas, Beambasher and Diabetic Lamb, as they're coming in towards the final corner. Looks like as you see the Beambasher there getting really all over that sausage curb there. That would have compromised his exit, and now he's going to possibly find himself open to an attack here from Diabetic Lamb. Those two dropping off a little bit off of Falgas coming through that final sector there. But no, it looks like Beambasher should be alright to hold on to that position for the time being. The Mutts Nuts still just ahead of actually Swiss Tony's got back ahead of the Mutts Nuts. Obviously we saw coming down the back straight. He's right on the back of him though, the Mutts Nuts out of the final corner, gets a better exit. They're going to be side by side as we see AK Unleaded getting ahead of the Dizzler up into 8th place, and now onto the back of these two as they are going at it here. Could we be seeing 3 wide coming into turn 1? As now AK Unleaded has got the run here. We are going to go 3 wide coming up towards turn 1. On the inside there's Swiss Tony, middle is the Mutts Nuts, outside is AK Unleaded. Here they come, and AK Unleaded tries around the outside of both of them. What a move from AK Unleaded there, as Swiss Tony's on the grass a little bit. The Mutts Nuts getting sideways, knocks into the Swiss Tony a little bit, but Swiss Tony's ahead of him, and Mutts Nuts takes him out. Oh no, there's the moves up into 7th place. That's going to promote Kurt up another position, but that's so unfortunate there. The Mutts Nuts just lost it under braking and speared into Swiss Tony. Those two down to 11th and 12th places in this race. The Mutts Nuts looks as though he might be waiting for... No, Swiss Tony's thrown in the towel. He's done, he's finished. He doesn't want to carry on by the looks of it. That's a real shame there, but yeah, that's a shame. That is a shame. Grandad C is in the pits here at the end of lap 13. And looks as though Smokey's also coming in to make his stop as well. So both of those guys into the pits here with 5 laps left to go in this race. Smokey's just putting into his box now. This means that the 3 leaders out the front are once again the top 3, as they have been throughout the race. Obviously they drop back to their pit stops. Beambasher is pulled away a little bit there, but Falgas having that big moment there as he was tagged in the back a little bit by Diabetic Lamb as he bounced over the curb. That's given Beambasher a little bit of breathing space now as he's taken the lead off of Falgas up into P1. Falgas and Diabetic Lamb still battling it out here as they're coming down the back straight. Grandad Steve running a long way behind these guys now, lost out in the pits enormously by the looks of it. So there's top 3 currently in control of this one, as Diabetic Lamb with a big lock up there, a little bit wide out of the chicane and can't get really onto the back of Falgas there. Beambasher still leads. Beambasher was pole position in the first race, got reeled in by Falgas in the later stages of the race, and he will be looking to try and at least get a win here in this one and match Falgas' score for this round here for the second round of the season here at Motive for the Clios here at Snetterton. What a job these two have been doing out the front. They've now gapped Diabetic Lamb by about a second. Diabetic Lamb's dropped off the pace over this last lap here as they're starting lap 15. Got 4 laps left to go here in this one, as now Diabetic Lamb is going to be under pressure here to try and keep on to these guys. Falgas very close, 2 tenths between him and Beambasher right now. Kurt, it looks like he's closed up onto the back of Smoky Devil a little bit over this last lap or so. But Beambasher just ahead of Falgas at the moment, and Diabetic Lamb waiting in the wings if these two trip over each other. But right now it looks like it's the duel that we saw in the sprint race, and now Falgas has got a great run here on Beambasher. Is he going to be able to go for that slipstream here? He pulls out to the left now under the Snetterton bridge. Is he going to be able to hold this on the inside though? That is the big question. Here we go into the braking zone now. Falgas squeezes ahead of Beam Basher up into the lead. So Beam Basher there didn't fight that one too hard. Obviously he's still got 3 laps to go, and these guys know that they could be swapping positions all the way to the flag, so it doesn't really mean too much at this stage in the race. Track position is important, but it isn't everything in these Clios. As we know, the positions will be changing left, right and centre, here, there and everywhere. These guys very evenly matched, and they're going to be giving each other a great fight. As now Beam Basher looking to the inside here. Falgas in towards the final corner. Falgas gets a better run out of the corner though, due to the fact that he was on the outside, managed to get a better radius in terms of the exit, and Falgas back up into the lead. Beam Basher was looking down the inside, couldn't quite do it. Down the start finish straight they come to start lap 16. 3 to go here for the Clio Cup at Motive Racing in Snetterton. Diabetic Lamb still on the back of these guys. 7/10 separating the top 3 at the moment into turn 1. As we see there, the Dizzler running just ahead of Kurt right now. These guys dropped off at the back of Smoky Devil a little bit. There's Guitar Rich running just behind these guys in 9th place, but Beam Basher just ahead of Falgas by 1/10 of a second. Diabetic Lamb within 4/10 as now Falgas looking back to the outside of Beam Basher here, coming down the back straight. What close racing this has been between these guys for the whole race. It looks like it's going to go down to the wire between these two once again. Falgas and Beam Basher fought out the sprint race, and they are both looking very strong here. Diabetic Lamb is trying his damnedest to keep on to the back of them. Big lock up there from Beam Basher as they came through the chicane. These guys are coming up on some traffic here. I think that is that's George there who they're just coming up on, so they will be on the back of George very shortly. Riding on board with our 3rd place man Diabetic Lamb as he's watching the 2 up front. Falgas and Beam Basher still going at it, coming in towards the final corner for the 16th time, about to start the penultimate lap. Very wide there Falgas, and that might compromise his run. Beam Basher's going to get the run here, coming down the start finish straight, and now they're going to be side by side once again. Beam Basher though is going to have the outside, and that's crucial because the outside line coming through turn 1 is always the quicker line. Diabetic Lamb's a little bit too far back to get involved in this before we get to the corner, but Beam Basher on the outside. Falgas, can he do anything on the inside there? No. Beam Basher clean around the outside up into the lead of the race. 2 to go here at Snetterton. What a race, what a drive from all 3 of these guys. They are now 25 seconds clear of Grandad Steve in 3rd place, 4th place even. As we see a huge lock up there from Diabetic Lamb on the brakes. Grandad Steve's a couple of seconds ahead of AK on there, who's had a bit of a lonely race since the pit stops. A Smokey running in 6th has got about a second or so back to Kurt, who's now got the Dizzler and Guitar Rich in hot pursuit there. The Mutts Nuts running in P10 after a very tricky start to the race, starting to get up onto the back of these drivers. Could be even, it could even be in for a P6 in this race if he plays his cards right in these last couple of laps. Dulevin in 11th, DJ Phil, Pantheon still going. I'm George. RDJ is out on the track, but he's cutting the corners massively. Let's hope he doesn't get involved in any scuffles here. Well, I don't know what you're doing there, mate, to be fair. What's all that about? Come on. But Falgas and Beam Basher and Diabetic Lamb coming in towards the final couple of corners of the lap. Keep an eye on RDJ. I hope he's not doing anything silly. I'm not sure what you're doing there, mate, to be fair. But Beam Basher on the back of Falgas right now. Diabetic Lamb in hot pursuit, 0.6 of a second separating these 3 cars coming into turn 1. But yeah, up to turn 2, here they come. Beam Basher going to throw one down the inside, and Diabetic Lamb tags Falgas in the back there and pushes him off the track a little bit, which is going to give Beam Basher the ascendancy here on the final lap. Falgas is not going to thank Diabetic Lamb at all for that, and Diabetic Lamb on the back of Falgas, but now Beam Basher's been bought 0.6 of a second out the front, and that could see him over the line for this race win. If Falgas and Diabetic Lamb cannot do anything about this in this final part of this race, have they got anything left in the locker? Has Beam Basher got a mistake in him in his final few corners, or is he going to bring it home for a win here after taking pole in the first race? Ended up second best to Falgas, was in 3rd on the grid for this feature race, but has so far done everything right. Falgas still looking to try and make it 2 from 2. Beam Basher currently the only thing that's in the way of Falgas making it 2 wins from 2 in this Clio Cup tonight here at Snetterton. Beam Basher, 2 corners left to go, the right and the left here for this feature race. It looks like he's going to see this one home. He needs to get a good exit out of this final corner, and he will be able to take the feature race win here. Up towards the line, here they come. Beam Basher has driven absolutely brilliantly. Falgas has put on a great show, but it is Beam Basher who flashes his lights up towards the line. Falgas returning the gesture up towards the line. Beam Basher takes the checkered flag and wins the feature race here at Snetterton. Falgas second, Diabetic Lamb completes the podium. Those 3 putting on a brilliant show out the front. Hats off to you guys. You were heads and and shoulders above the rest of them here in this feature race. Granite Steve battling out to the flag here with AK Unleaded in towards the final corner. AK Unleaded, big slide there, and he just about holds it, but he's going to lose out to Granite Steve. Granite Steve up towards the line. And it's going to be a 4th place finish here for Grandad Steve in the feature race. Good drive, solid points there for him in the bag. AK Unleaded comes over to take a 5th place. Kurt, in the end, bringing home for 6th place, which is better than he would have expected after the first lap for sure. Smokey Devil takes 7th. Great drive from Smokey tonight. Guitar Rich in 8th. The Musnuts drops down to 9th with the penalties. The Dizda completing the top 10 here for this one. Dulavin is going to come around to take 11th place in this one with DJ Phil 12th. I'm George in P13. And Pantheons rounding out the classification there in 14th place. What a race, ladies and gentlemen, for the Clio Cup here at Motive. Absolutely brilliant job from Beambasher, Falgus and Diabetic Lamb. Those three put on a fantastic show out the front, and Beambasher coming out on top in the end. So it's a winner piece for Beambasher and Falgus over the course of this evening. Well done to Beambasher. What a drive. Falgus in the end couldn't quite get him, but Beambasher, Falgus and Diabetic Lamb, your podium finishers. What a race. Big thank you to everybody who joined us on the stream. Drop a like on the video, guys, and show your appreciation for these drivers. What a show they put on. If you want to get involved, go to www.motiveracing.com and join the Discord server. We're going to get off. We're going to need to set up the LMP2 lobby as we're running horrifically late for that. But thank you to everybody, and we will see you in the next one.
Good racing there, lads. Good effort.
Racing, guys. That was sick up front. Oh mate, I've got no voice left after that. Jeez. I think I'm going to do the LMP2s now. Great stuff, guys. If anyone fancies racing LMP2s, drop it in the general chat. I'll shoot invites out. I'm going to set a lobby up now. That's fair enough, mate.
Catch you soon, boys. Tomorrow, isn't it?
Tomorrow for GTEs. Catch you then. See you guys.
Do you not have LMP2s?
Yeah, setting it up now, mate. Do you want to race? Or do you want to commentate with me?
I don't mind, mate.
Do you want to do comms? You can. I'll set up a